is about trying to, there are little things you can do. So, for example, in every meeting that I attend, I always speak last. And I know from experience that, if I speak first, even very strong-willed, highly intelligent, high judgment participants in that meeting will wonder, well, if Jeff thinks that, I came in this meeting thinking one thing, but maybe I'm not right. And so you can do little things like, if you're the most senior person in the room, go last. Let everybody else go first. In fact, ideally, just try to have the most junior person go first, and the second, and try to go in order of seniority, so that you can hear everyone's opinion in a kind of unfiltered way. Because we really do. We actually literally change our opinions. If somebody who you really respect says something, it makes you change your mind a little.
So you're saying implicitly or explicitly give permission for people to have a strong opinion, that as long as it's backed by data.
Yes, and sometimes it can even, by the way, a lot of our most powerful truths turn out to be hunches. They turn out to be based on anecdotes. Yeah. They're intuition-based, and sometimes you don't even have strong data. But you may know the person well enough to trust their judgment. You may feel yourself leaning in. It may resonate with a set of anecdotes you have, and then you may be able to say, something about that feels right. Let's go collect some data on that. Let's try to see if we can actually know whether it's right. But for now, let's not disregard it because it feels right. You can also fight inherent bias. There's an optimism bias. Like, if there are two interpretations of a new set of data, and one of them is happy, and one of them is unhappy, it's a little dangerous to jump to the conclusion that the happy interpretation is right. You may want to sort of compensate for that human bias of looking for, trying to find the silver lining and say, look, that might be good, but I'm going to go with it's bad for now until we're sure.
So speaking of happiness, bias, data collection, and anecdotes, you have to, how's that for a transition? You have to tell me the story of the call you made, the customer service call you made to demonstrate a point about wait times.
Yeah, this is very early in the history of Amazon.
Yes.
And we were going over a weekly business review and a set of documents, and I have a saying, which is, when the data and the anecdotes disagree, the anecdotes are usually right. And it doesn't mean you just slavishly go follow the anecdotes then. It means you go examine the data. Because it's usually not that the data is being miscollected. It's usually that you're not measuring the right thing. And so, if you have a bunch of customers complaining about something, and at the same time, your metrics look like they shouldn't be complaining, you should doubt the metrics. And an early example of this was we had metrics that showed that our customers were waiting, I think, less than, 60 seconds when they called a 1-800 number to get, phone customer service. The wait time was supposed to be less than 60 seconds. But we had a lot of complaints that it was longer than that. And anecdotally, it seemed longer than that. Like, I would call customer service myself. And so one day we're in a meeting, we're going through the WBR and the weekly business review. And we get to this metric in the deck. And the guy who leads customer service is to fit in the metric. And I said, okay, let's call. And I picked up the phone and I dialed the 1-800 number and called customer service. And we just waited in silence
What did it turn out to be?
It was really long. More than 10 minutes, I think.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it was many minutes. And so, it dramatically made the point that something was wrong with the data collection. We weren't measuring the right thing. And that, set off a whole chain of events where we started measuring it right. And that's an example, by the way, of truth-telling. Is like, that's an uncomfortable thing to do. But you have to seek truth, even when it's uncomfortable, and you have to get people's attention, and they have to buy into it, and they have to get energized around really fixing things.
So that speaks to the obsession with the customer experience. So one of the defining aspects of your approach to Amazon is just being obsessed with making customers happy. I think companies sometimes say that, but Amazon is really obsessed with that. I think there's something really profound to that, which is seeing the world through the eyes of the customer, like the customer experience, the human being that's using the product, that's enjoying the product, like what they're like the subtle little things that make up their experience. Like how do you optimize those?
This is another really good and kind of deep question, because there are big things that are really important to manage, and then there are small things internally to Amazon. We call them paper cuts. So we're always working on the big things. Like if you ask me, and most energy goes into the big things, as it should. So, and you can identify the big things, and I would encourage anybody, if anybody listening to this is an entrepreneur, has a small business, whatever, think about the things that are not going to change over 10 years. And those are probably the big things. So like I know that in our retail business at Amazon, 10 years from now, customers are still going to want low prices. I know they're still going to want fast delivery. And I just know they're still going to want big selection. So it's impossible to imagine a scenario where 10 years from now, where a customer says, I love Amazon, I just wish the prices were a little higher. Or I love Amazon, I just wish you delivered a little more slowly. So when you identify the big things, you can tell they're worth putting energy into because they're stable in time. Okay. But you're asking about something a little different.
Open for biz today?
In every customer experience,
yes.
there are those big things.
Sit.
By the way, it's
And if you
astonishing
grab
hard
one,
to focus
I may
even
forget
on
the
just the big
anesthetic.
things. So, even though they're obvious, they're really hard to focus on. But in addition to that, there are all these little tiny customer experience deficiencies. And we call those paper cuts. We make long lists of them. And then we have dedicated teams that go fix paper cuts, because the teams working on the big issues never get to the paper cuts. And they never work their way down the list to get to, they're working on big things, as you should, and as you want them to. And so you need special teams who are charged with fixing paper cuts.
Well, where would you put on the paper cut spectrum the buy now with one click? I think pretty key. But to me, like, my interaction with things I love, there's things I do a lot. I maybe representing a regular human. I would love for those things to be frictionless. For example, booking airline tickets. Just saying. But it's buying a thing with one click, making that experience frictionless, intuitive, all aspects of it. Like that just fundamentally makes my life better. Not just in terms of efficiency, in terms of some kind of
Cognitive load.
Yeah, cognitive load and inner peace and happiness. First of all, buying stuff is a pleasant experience. Having enough money to buy a thing and then buying it is a pleasant experience. And like having pain around that is somehow just you're ruining a beautiful experience. And I guess all I'm saying as a person who loves good ideas, is that a paper cut a solution for paper cut?
Yes. So it's probably that particular thing is probably a solution to a number of paper cuts. So if you go back and look at our order pipeline and how people shop on Amazon, before we
Up the scab march yesterday.
there was a whole series of paper cuts, and that eliminated a bunch of paper cuts. And I think you're absolutely right, by the way, that when you come up with something like one-click shopping, it's so now. Perhaps you even noticed it. I mean, look, every time I click the button, most people never surge it happens. There is in the perfect invention, perfect content, there is real beauty. It is actual beauty. It feels good. It's emotional. It's emotional for the inventor. It's emotional for the team that builds it. It's emotional for the customer. It's a big deal. And you can feel those things.
But to keep coming up with that idea, with those kinds of ideas,
yeah, you need a good group of people who feel that satisfaction with creating that kind of thing.
There's a lot of books written about you. There's a book in Back and Wander where one guy it's mostly collected writings of yours. I've read that. I also recommend people check out the Founders podcast. That covers you a lot and does different analysis of different businesses that you've been over the years. I bring all that up because I saw that there I mentioned that you said that books are an antidote for short attention span. And I forget how it was phrased, but that when you were thinking about the Kindle, that you were thinking about how technology changes us. Yeah.
We co-evolve with our tools. So, we invent new tools, and then our tools change us.
Which is fascinating to think about.
It goes in a circle.
And there's some aspect, even just inside business, where you don't just make the customer happy, but you also have to think about, like, where is this going to take humanity if you zoom out a bit.
100%. And, you can feel in your brains are plastic. You can feel your brain getting reprogrammed. I remember the first time this happened to me was when Tetris first came on the scene. I'm sure you've had this. Anybody who's been a game player has this experience where you close your eyes to lay down to go to sleep, and you see all the little blocks moving, and you're kind of rotating them in your mind, and you can just tell as you walk around the world that you have rewired your brain to play Tetris. But that happens with everything. And so, one of the, I think, we still have yet to see the full repercussions of this, I fear. I think one of the things that we've done online, largely because of social media, is we have trained our brains to be really good at processing super short form content. And, your podcast flies in the face of this. You do these long format things. And reading books is a long format thing. And we all do more of, if something is convenient, we do more of it. And so when you make tools, we carry around we carry around in our pocket a phone. And one of the things that phone does, for the most part, is it is an attention shortening device. Because most of the things we do on our phone shorten our attention spans. And I'm not even going to say we know for sure that that's bad, but I do think it's happening. It's one of the ways we're co-evolving with that tool. But I think it's important to spend some of your time and some of your life doing long attention span things.
Yeah, I think you've spoken about the value of focus, of singular focus on a thing for long periods of time. And that's certainly what books do. And that's certainly what that piece of technology does. I bring all that up to ask you about another piece of technology, AI, that has the potential to have various trajectories to have an impact on human civilization. How do you think AI will?
You're talking about generative AI, large language models, things like ChatGPT, its soon successors. These are incredibly powerful technologies. To believe otherwise is to bury your head in the sand, soon to be even more powerful. It's interesting to me.
Aaron Waynes. Which one's he?
That large language models
Aaron?
in their current form
Orange
are
shorts.
not
And the others?
Will Corey. Dogtown. Born and bred, baby.
But looking through it at Jupiter, knowing that it had moons was a discovery. that's what Galileo did. And so this is sort of that spectrum of invention. You know, we know exactly what happens with a 787. It's an engineered object. We designed it. We know how it behaves. We don't want any surprises. Large language models are much more like discoveries. We're constantly getting surprised by their capabilities. They're not really engineered objects. Then, you know, you have this debate about whether they're going to be good for humanity or bad for humanity. You know, even specialized AI can be very bad for humanity. I mean, it's just, you know, just regular machine learning models that can make, you know, certain weapons of war that could be incredibly destructive, very powerful, and they're not general AIs. They could just be very smart weapons. And so we have to think about all of those things. I'm very optimistic about this. So even in the face of all this uncertainty, my own view is that these powerful tools are much more likely to help us and save us even than they are to, on balance, hurt us and destroy us. I think, you know, we humans have a lot of ways of, we can make ourselves go extinct. You know, these things may help us not do that. You know, so they may actually save us. So the people who are, you know, overly concerned, in my view, overly concerned. So this is a valid debate. I think that they may be missing part of the equation, which is how helpful they could be in making sure we don't destroy ourselves. I don't know if you saw the movie Oppenheimer, but to me, first of all, I loved the movie, and I thought the best part of the movie is this bureaucrat played by Robert Downey Jr., who, you know, some people have talked to think that's the most boring part of the movie. I thought it was the most fascinating, because what's going on here is you realize we have invented these awesome, destructive, powerful technologies called nuclear weapons, and they are managed, and, you know, we humans we're not really capable of wielding those weapons. You know, that's what he represented in the movie. Is here's this guy who is he wrongly thinks, he's like being so petty. He thinks that Oppenheimer said something bad to Einstein about him. They didn't talk about him at all. You find out in the final scene of the movie, and yet he spent his career trying to be vengeful and petty, and that's the problem. We as a species are not really sophisticated enough, mature enough to handle these technologies. And so, and by the way, before you get to general AI and the possibility of AI having agency, there's a lot of things that have to happen, but there's so much benefit that's going to come from these technologies. Meantime, even before they're, you know, general AI, in terms of better medicines and better tools to develop more technologies and so on. So I think it's an incredible moment to be alive and to witness the transformations that are going to happen. How quickly it will happen, no one knows, but over the next 10 years and 20 years, I think we're going to see really remarkable advances, and I personally am very excited about it.
It's all really interesting to say these discoveries that it's true that we don't know the limits of what's possible with the current language models.
We don't.
And like, it could be a few tricks and hacks here and there that open doors to whole entire new possibilities.
We do know that humans are doing something different from these models, in part because, you know, we're so power efficient. You know, the human brain does remarkable things, and it does it on about 20 watts of power. And, you know, the AI techniques we use today use many kilowatts of power to do equivalent tasks. So there's something interesting about the way the human brain does this. And also, we don't need as much data. So, you know, like, self-driving cars are, they have to drive billions and billions of miles to try and to learn how to drive, and your average 16-year-old figures it out with many fewer miles. So there are still some tricks, I think, that we have yet to learn. I don't think we've learned the last trick. I don't think it's just a question of scaling things up. But what's interesting is that just scaling things up, and I put just in quotes because it's actually hard to scale things up, but just scaling things up also appears to pay huge dividends.
Yeah, and there's some more nuanced aspects about human beings that's interesting to be able to accomplish, like being truly original and novel. Large language models being able to come up with some truly new ideas. That's one, and the other one is. It seems that large language models.
Bets aren't even on. One in, last
Like they're
chance.
saying a true thing, but they don't.
I know this racket. Bookie rakes in 100 eddies, and a win nets me, what, on top? 10, 20?
25.
Not how we do it in Haywood. How about this? 300 on Aaron, you pay out double or nothing. Deal?
Fine. You got it.
Accurate sounding narratives. It's a very fascinating problem to solve. How do you get language models for what is true and not?
That'd be that. It's over. Wayne's Bacchio. Too damn strong.
Nice not to have to take a dive for a change, huh?
The other open
Well,
questions,
fuck you, Will.
are created from this.
Oh, so many.
Yeah.
I mean, we have Alexa and Echo, and Alexa has hundreds of millions of installed base inputs. So there's Alexa everywhere, and guess what? Alexa is about to get a lot smarter.
Yeah.
And so that's really, from a product point of view, that's super exciting.
So many opportunities there.
So many opportunities. Shopping assistant, all that stuff is in the US. We're building Titan, which is our foundational model. We're also building Bedrock, which our corporate clients in AWS,
Aaron Wayne's.
enterprise clients, they want to be able to use these powerful models
Autograph
with
seeker?
their own corporate data.
Nims V.
Without
Fred sent me.
accidentally contributing
Wow.
your corporate data.
Old man
to
said
that
he got
model.
someone.
So those
I'm
are
sure
the
it was
tools we're
mine.
building for them with Bedrock. So there's tremendous
Look,
opportunity
V,
here.
got a thing I need to take care of. Dangerous people involved.
So much value can be gained by training on private
Need
data.
tough hustle to watch my back. Won't run from trouble.
Yes,
Interested?
this is a very challenging technical problem, and it's one that we're
Okay.
making progress on and
Gonna help.
dedicated to solving for our
Need
customers.
deeds to start.
Scab
do you
base,
think there'll be
clinic,
a day when humans and robots
home to a ripper.
will be Alexa
The
have
man.
a romantic relationship?
Met him back in my days running with the animals. Our crews
Well,
were tight.
I mean,
Did biz
if you
together.
look at
Brainstorming
the
Fight I
problems.
got
if you
coming
look
up's
at the
important.
spectrum of human
Should see them in before I
variety
hop
of
in the
what
ring.
people
Need
like,
you to help me with the
sexual
ladder.
variety. There are people who like everything. So the answer to your question has to be yes.
I guess I'm
I
asking
don't know
why.
how widespread that will be.
All right.
But it will happen.
I was just asking why for a friend. That's all right. Moving on. Next question. What's
Hey.
a perfectly
You
productive
need to
day
pick me
for
up?
Jeff Bezos? You're one of the most productive humans in the world.
Well, first of all, I get up in the morning and I putter. I like have a coffee.
Listen, this
I-
Demir. You
just
sure only he
I
can help you?
slowly
I mean,
move around.
need a good
I'm
ripper.
not as
I know a
productive
few.
as I think I
All
am. I
easier
mean,
to get an appointment
I do
with.
believe in
Think I didn't
wandering.
consider
I
that?
sort of- I read my
And there's
phone
my
for a
one
while.
option.
I read newspapers for a
It's a
while.
fucking
I
shitty story all in
chat,
all, V.
with
I'll
Laura,
finish it once we're
drink
there.
my first coffee.
So,
I kind of
we agreed?
I move pretty
All
slowly
good?
in the first couple of hours. I get up early, just naturally.
Okay,
And,
got a deal. I'll help.
And then,
Cream fucking
I
news,
exercise
V.
most days.
So listen, got some
Most
things to
days it's
figure
not the
out,
hard
tend
days.
to
Some days
here,
it's really
but then
hard.
I'll meet you
And
at
I do
Terra
it, but I
Cognita.
don't want to, and it's painful, and I'm like, why am I here? And I don't want to do it.
Why am I here at the gym?
Why am I here at the gym? Why don't I do something else? It's not always easy.
What's your source of motivation in the moment?
I know that I'll feel better later if I do it. And So, like, the real source of motivation, I can tell the days when I skip it. I'm not quite as alert. I don't feel as good. And then there's harder motivation that's longer term. You want to be healthy as you age. You want health span. You want, ideally, you want to be healthy and moving around when you're 80 years old. So there's a lot of, but that kind of motivation is so far in the future, it can be very hard to work in a second. So thinking about the fact, I'll feel better in about 4 hours if I do it now. I don't want energy the rest of my day, and so on and so on.
What's your exercise routine, just to linger on that? How much you curl? What are we talking about here? That's all I do at the gym, so
my routine, on a good day, I do about half an hour of cardio, and I do about 45 minutes of weightlifting, resistance training of some kind, mostly weights. I have a trainer who, I love, who pushes me, which is really helpful. I'll be like, he'll say, Jeff, you see, can we go up on that weight a little bit? And I'll think about it, and I'll be like, no, I don't think so. And he'll look at me and say, yeah, I think you can. And of course he's right. So I'll absolutely push a little bit.
but almost every day.
I do almost every day. I do a little bit of cardio and a little bit of weightlifting. And I rotate. I do pulling days, pushing days, leg days. It's all pretty standard stuff. Pottery, coffee, gym, and then work.
What's working? What is the production?
A couple of years ago, I left so deeply involved here. Big, I love it. It's small, it's having meetings, times in person, times over Zoom, where I am. It's all about technology. I have architecture and technology meetings almost every day on various subsystems inside the vehicle. My least favorite part of it is so that's important.
Irreal.
That's what it's called work. You don't always get to do what you want to do. Have the so this is not the one I can do that. I'm very good at focusing. I'm very good at I don't keep to a strict schedule. Like my meetings often go longer than I planned. I believe in wandering. My perfect meeting starts with a crisp document. I like a crisp document and a messy meeting. So the meeting is about like asking questions that nobody knows the answer to, and trying to like wander your way to a solution. And it's like, and that is, when that happens, that's right. It makes all the other meetings worthwhile. It has kind of meaning.
La sombra.
Real
La
break.
sombra, güey.
Can you describe the crisp document? Like, this is one of the legendary aspects of the way we approach meetings. It's the 6-page memo. Maybe you can first describe the process of running a meeting in memo.
Meetings at Amazon are unusual. When new people come in, like a new executive join, and they're a little taken aback sometimes because the typical meeting will start with 6 narratively structured memo. And we do study hall. For 30 minutes, we sit there silently together in the meeting and read. Make notes in the margins, and then we discuss. And the reason, by the way, we do study, you could say, I would like everybody to read these memos in advance, but the problem is people don't have time to do that, and they end up coming to the meeting having only skimmed the memo, or maybe not read it at all, and they're trying to catch up. They're also bluffing like they were in college, having pretended to do the reading.
Exactly.
It's better just to carve out the time for people. So now we're all on the same page. We've all read the memo, and now we can have a really elevated discussion. And this is so much better from having a slideshow presentation, or a PowerPoint presentation of some kind, where that has so many difficulties. One of the problems is PowerPoint is really designed to persuade. It's kind of a sales tool. And internally, the last thing you want to do is sell. You want to get interest, trying to find truth. And the other problem with PowerPoint is it's easy for the author and hard for the audience. The memo is the author. It's hard for us. Good thing is no you have to write it, you have to rewrite it, you have to edit it, you have to talk to people about it, they have to poke holes in it for you, write it again. It may take 2 weeks. So the author is a very difficult job. But for the audience, it's much better. You can read a half hour. There are little problems with PowerPoint presentations too. Senior executives interrupt with questions halfway through the presentation. That question's going to be answered on the next slide, but you never got there. Because if you read the whole memo in advance, I often write lots of questions that I have in the margins of these memos, and then I go cross them all out because by the time I get to the end of the memo, they've been answered. So I save all that time. You also get, the person who's preparing the memo. We talked earlier about groupthink and the fact that I go last in meetings and that you don't want your ideas to kind of pollute the meeting prematurely. The author of the memo has kind of got to be very vulnerable. They've got to put all their thoughts out there, and they've got to go first. But that's great because it makes them really good. And you get to see their real ideas. You're not trampling on them accidentally in a big, PowerPoint presentation.
What's that feel like when you've authored anything, you're sitting there and you read it, and you're like...
I think it's mostly terrifying.
Yeah. Like maybe in a good way?
I think it's...
Like purifying?
I think it's terrifying in a productive way. But I think it's emotionally a very nerve-wracking experience.
Is there art, science to the writing of this 6-page memo? Or just writing in general?
It's really got to be a real memo. So it means paragraphs have topic sentences, verbs, and nouns. That's the other problem with PowerPoint presentations. They're often just bullet points. And you can hide a lot of sloppy thinking behind bullet points. You have to write in complete sentences with narrative structure.
Waiting.
It's really hard to hide sloppy thinking. So it forces the author to be at their best.
V.
And you're getting somebody's really their best thinking. And then you don't have to spend a lot of time trying to tease that thinking out of the person. You've got it from the very beginning. So it really saves you time in the long run.
So that part is crisp and the rest is nothing. Just got
Yeah, so you don't want to pretend that the discussion should be true. There's, most meetings you're trying to solve a really hard problem. There's a different kind of meeting which we call weekly business reviews or business reviews. They may be weekly or monthly or daily, whatever they are. But these business review meetings, that's usually for incremental improvement, and you're looking at a series of metrics. Every time it's the same metrics. Those meetings can be very efficient. They can start on time and end on time.
So we're about to run out of time, which is a good time to ask about the 10,000-year clock. Yes. That's what I'm known for, is the humor. Okay. Can you explain what the 10,000-year clock is?
10,000-year clock is a physical clock of monumental scale. It's about 500 feet tall. It's inside a mountain in West Texas in a chamber that's about 12 feet in diameter and 500 feet tall. 10,000-year clock is an idea conceived by a brilliant guy named Danny Hillis way back in the 80s. The idea is to build a clock as a symbol for long-term thinking. And you can kind of just very conceptually think of the 10,000-year clock as it ticks once a year. It chimes once, every 100 years, and the cuckoo comes out once every 1,000 years. So it just sort of slows everything down. And it's a completely mechanical clock. It is designed to last 10,000 years with no human intervention. So the material choices and everything else. It's in a remote location, both to protect it, but also so that visitors have to kind of make a pilgrimage. The idea is that over time, this will take hundreds of years, but over time it will take on the patina of age. And then it will become a symbol for long-term thinking that will actually, hopefully, get humans to extend their thinking horizons. And in my view, that's really important as we have become, as a species, as a civilization, more powerful. We're really affecting the planet now. We're really affecting each other. We have weapons of mass destruction. We have all kinds of things where we can really hurt ourselves. And the problems we create can be so large. The unintended consequences of some of our actions, like climate change, putting carbon in the atmosphere is a perfect example. That's an unintended consequence of the Industrial Revolution. We've got a lot of benefits from it, but we've also got this side effect that is very detrimental. We need to start training ourselves to think longer term. Long-term thinking is a giant lever. You can literally solve problems if you think long-term that are impossible to solve if you think short-term. And we aren't really good at thinking long-term. It's not really, we're kind of, 5 years is a tough time frame for most institutions to think past. And we probably need to stretch that to 10 years and 15 years and 20 years and 25 years. And we'd do a better job for our children or our grandchildren if we could stretch those thinking horizons. And so the clock is, in a way, it's an art project. It's a symbol. And if it ever has any power to influence people to think longer term, that won't happen for hundreds of years. But we have to,
It's good to see you. This way. Terra Cognita. Impressive, as I see it.
City center post-apocalypse or Pacifica on steroids?
Pacifica's a rotting corpse. Dogtown's vibrant, with Terra Cognita as its crown fucking jewel.
Must really like the place.
Hung out in DT while my dad worked construction here. When that all went bust, we moved outside the wall. Back inside about a year ago, when I left the gang. Building there. The men's clinics around the back. Hold up. One other thing I need to say.
Go ahead, spit it.
Truth is, animals fix my fights. Angie, Animals Alpha, she decide which round I go down in. Chip in my head lets her do that.
Fuck.
Inner ear disruptor. Flip the switch, I flop over like a fish stood on its tail.
So, afraid of other rippers botching the job. Want the chip removed by the guy who installed it.
Yeah. It wanted done today, too. Wanted to be a boxer, they turned me into a punchline. I take a dive now, nobody will want to get me another fight. It's my last chance.
Let's make sure it's not wasted, then.
Fuck off or die. You're...
Not yet, but I'll figure something out.
what I'm talking about. The Miss Clinic, top floor. Almost there. Just a hop, skip, and a jump. Demir. Been a while. You know why I'm here.
I told you not to come, man. Ever. Yet you do. And with protection? Who the hell is this?
Aaron expected trouble. Hired me to keep things, trouble-free.
You don't get it. If Angie finds out, I'll end up in the bay. A hole in my face. Cement shoes on hands and feet.
Demir, you're the best ripper in this part of Dogtown. Angie won't touch you. Just help me with the chip, please. You gotta.
Oh. Fuck! God fucking damn it. Fine. We do it quick. Chair, let's go.
V? Listen. Need to be sure I'll wake up after this. Can you wait here? Please?
Y ando buscando parejas enamoradas infieles. ¿Ustedes? Ay, está bien raro. Yo no lo conozco, Fanny. Dime la verdad. Él es así. Está muy nervioso. ¿A qué crees que se debe que esté nervioso? ¿Tú lo conoces? No.
Bueno, sí te han visto los videos.
Entonces es por eso, ¿sabes?
Solo conseguí la cuenta, pero... No.
¿Qué pasaría si en efecto fuera infiel? No, pues lo terminamos aunque lleven ¿cuántos años? Llevamos un año. O sea, y ese año, 3 meses seguiría a la basura. Pues sí, depende de qué infidelidad estamos hablando.
O sea, que yo puedo ser el infiel.
Tú también puedes ser infiel. Pero yo estoy hablando de ti, ¿no? ¿Tú le perdonarías si yo soy infiel?
La neta no.
Nada. Ni aunque solo haya sido...
¿Cómo?
O sea, mensajitos. Textuales.
Bueno, ahí sería como un poquito raro, pero no, creo que no. No sería lo mismo. No sería lo mismo.
¿Quién conquistó a quién de los dos? Los dos son medio raros, como tensos. No sé.
No, es
que... ¿verdad?
No es cierto. Es que ese rato estaba pidiendo la pista.
Y tenías hambre.
Sí, tenía.
Y el hambre te puso raro.
Pues me puse en la culo.
Pero ya comiste, ¿verdad?
Sí, ya comí.
Entonces, en teoría ya no tendrías que estar raro ni nervioso.
Bueno, sí, ¿no?
Les voy a ofrecer 500 pesos a cada uno y también les voy a pagar su cuenta si son ¿Quiénes creen que vayan a sacar dinero de mi productor el día de hoy o creen que ustedes van a terminar pagando mañana? No es cierto, eso no pasa. Pero, oye, estás bien, me da pena, como que siento que tienes el agua en un hilo. ¿Qué pasa? ¿Quieres platicar?
No.
¿Cómo te sientes?
No, pues lo rifamos.
A ver, pues. Celular desbloqueado.
No tiene clave.
Entonces, ¿por qué estás tan nervioso?
Momento, memento, memoria, recuerdo, antes, entonces, siempre, por siempre.
Sí, nos tomamos una. Que tenía pena. No se apene. Te tomas harta selfie. ¿A quién se la mandas?
No.
¿Quién es ella?
¿Qué pasa?
¿Cómo te llevas con la...? Ay, mira, lo siento mucho. ¿Este eres tú? ¿Esa es tu espalda?
Sí.
¿Y a quién le mandas estas fotos?
No, esa foto era cuando tenía 17 años.
Ay, los hombres no envejecen con el pasar de los años. ¿Cuántos años tienes? Yo de 21. ¿21 y tú?
31.
Ay, cochinos, saltacones, esas incubadoras.
Pues
Amiga, ¿cómo le haces para andar siendo limpieza si no tienes ni un...
Son memes.
Yo, ¿qué?
Son memes.
Yo acabo de decir con la pareja de allá que cuando uno descarga memes es porque se siente identificado. A ver, ¿qué tipo de pruebas?
No, pues son memes.
Y esta chica que trae toda la michelada en la radio.
lo último que escuché de este señor, nuestro presidente de la República de México, fue sabiduría y no esperaba menos. Cuando empezamos, supe que estábamos de acuerdo y que él tenía más fuentes que yo, que mi conocimiento era ambiguo por ahí de repente tal vez, pero siempre fiel a los principios. Mi materia favorita, formación cívica y ética. Qué fácil es la teoría. Imagínate utopías. Estamos en el camino, en una jaula geopolítica también, pero hay que saber nuestro papel. Siempre la libertad tiene un límite para todos. Disciplina es necesaria y los testigos son necesarios para hacer evidente lo evidente.
A veces me voy cada 2 semanas, a veces cada 3 semanas, allá duro un mes.
¿Tienes ella?
No, son imágenes que le mando a amigos, de que, mira, son ahora sí que cuerpos que quiero tonificar.
¿Pero por qué le tienes que mandar esas fotos a tus amigos?
Tú sabes que soy entrenador personalizado.
De tatuador, entrenador personalizado.
son necesarios para hacer evidente lo evidente y saber que no está mal estar en el camino correcto. Y aunque seamos diferentes, defender lo justo. Dicen que el tiempo será el juez. Es decir, eventualmente dispondremos de mayor confianza. Nuestra reputación nos respalda y solo queremos lo mejor para todos, incluso cuando no todo el mundo está consciente de la situación. O tal vez soy yo quien no está, para no agraviar.
Ahí se me lo mandaron a mí, que dicen que me parezco a él. Ahí está el meme, ahí
dice. Por si cometo agravios.
Para que veamos las comparaciones. A ver, quítate la camisa, para el músculo. Hazle así. ¿Qué para el músculo?
Oye, sí, estoy tatuado.
Ese. Para ver si te parece a Aquaman. Mira, aquí está. Se parece.
Me toca el cabello para que veas.
A ver. Quiero traer el pelo suelto.
De lado.
2 gotas de agua. No, te estábamos muy alargando. ¡Oh! ¿Qué es esto? Dios mío santo. ¿Qué es eso?
Son tatuajes.
Pero hay tatuajes y piercings en los pezones y en el...
Ay, ¿a poco también no tiene ahí?
Ahí se le ve bien. No vio la necesidad. Neta,
Ok, las voy a borrar. Pero no te tienes que enojar, pues solamente son imágenes.
O sea que ella también puede tener imágenes de vergonias aquí. ¡Ey, no borres nada del celular de tu reloj! ¡No borres nada!
Bueno, quítalo.
¡Ay! ¿Este trasero de quién es? ¿Es tuyo? No. Ese sí es un screenshot de una historia.
Es vieja.
Ay, ¿de quién es?
Me lo mandó un amigo a mí. Yo borré, acuérdate que se actualizó. Acuérdate que se actualizó mi teléfono. No pude borrar eso. De que supuestamente una muchacha que me ha conocido en un bar.
Adi, ¿quién es?
Es mi mejor amiga.
Así sean las 2 de la mañana, juro que allí estaré. Siempre contarás conmigo. Pero procura nunca aislarte. Aquí ando y cualquier cosa ya sabes a quién hablarle. No importa la hora o situación, habla. Qué comprometido, ¿no? Con tus amistades.
¿Tú sabes cómo? Es mi mejor amiga.
Y márcame siempre que quieras, sabes mi número y cualquier hora estoy disponible para ti. Que ni me marcas a mí ni le marcas a ella. Laura, ¿estás ocupada? Sara, ¿quién es? ¿Y por qué le cocinas? ¿Por qué te cocinas? ¿Qué le cocinaste?
¿Qué me decías la de allá de México? ¿Es que me voy?
Te quedarás acá para hacerme un espacio acá donde...
There. Finished. The blockade is inactive.
O sea, te
Kid
quedas
will wake
con
up
Sara
soon.
cuando vas. Esto no es desde México, ¿y por qué no me lo habías dicho? A mí no me dijo que quería dormir con ella.
Chip's just inactive? You were gonna remove it.
True, but
Chip's buried in the inner ear. You'd have to get invasive. Receptor meeting's safer, less risky. Chip's dead. Aaron will recover quickly. Good work,
Mínimo, la
team.
verdad, última vez no tenías ordenado el cuarto. Rafa, me agarraste desprevenida, no me avisaste
look,
ni nada.
Angie,
Pero
you know
sabes
how
que
it goes.
siempre
They
tienes
come
un
in,
lugar en tu
guns,
cama.
fists ready. But what was I to do?
We'll talk later. No son roommates y duermen en la misma cama.
There he is, our little Aaron. Wonder what he's dreaming about. Apparently used his brain for once. Didn't
Solo
come
que te
alone.
mueves mucho, la verdad. Intenta explicarme esto. Te duermes
So,
con ella.
we're gonna have a problem?
Muchos se morirían por sentir eso. Sabes que yo soy muy distraído. Pues sí te lo he dicho muchas veces, pero termino muy cansado y no me dejas dormir. Qué chillón, ya no te repegaré nada. ¿Qué pedo?
Déjame, te voy a explicar.
Gonna speak or what?
No, explícame una vez.
Termina si quieres.
No, explícame. ¿Cómo? Explícame.
Te explico. Cuando yo he ido, siempre trae un cochinero en el cuarto. Sí, no te dije, lo omití, no te dije, perdón. Pero las veces que he ido, el cuarto que tiene de huéspedes tiene un cochinero. Yo llego, tú sabes que
Gonna speak or what?
No, no es pretexto, no es pretexto. Yo le dije,
seguro en el otro cuarto hay cajas. Es claro, porque un hombre necesita que la mujer sea la que quite las cajas, ¿no? Eso explica muchas cosas para poder dormir. O sea, no puede llegar este güey, todavía hay que se queda, no paga renta, se queda en la cama de la chica y no puede llegar a desocupar el otro cuarto para quedarse ahí. O sea, le da pena que su novia se entere, que se enoje de que se duerme en la misma cama que la amiga, pero no puede cargar las cajas.
Gonna speak or what?
Quedarte en la casa a ella y acostarte con ella casi casi.
No. ¿Tú sabes lo que hago? Llego cansado después de que me dan una hora.
Like to solve problems, not cause them.
Same. Pragmatism.
Like it. Like others to like it.
Now, got any idea who you're protecting?
Ya dijiste, ¿cuándo llegas? En 15 días llego.
No, nada malo.
O sea, espera, que es que ¿por qué no me dices?
Hey, you with me?
Perdón, sí, la neta sí la cagué. Yo no te dije, pero no hubo nada malo. Ok, no pasó nada. Si confías en mí, vas a
A
creer.
cornered animal looking to bite its way out of a trap.
Rich. Funny that Aaron tells it that way. No truth to it, though. Aaron was our heavy. Good at it, too. Busted debtors' legs, set house fires. It's who he is. But wild violence like that needs honing, nurturing. So we invested in implants, training. Aaron owes us. We just want him to pay off his debt. Need him to throw the Vince fight. That's it. And we'll be even.
Yo te voy a dar pruebas. Así de pelada.
Vamos con tu celular.
Dale tu teléfono.
Fight of his life, it's supposed to be. And you want him to take a dive.
Aaron's mixed it up a dozen times till now. Most of his fights were fixed. It's nothing unusual.
What'll you do? Just flip the switch, watch him flop?
I mean, the blocker. Never used it. He always went down on his own, when we asked. It's worked out well for him. Good for you, too. Let it go. We'll make sure Aaron goes down. You'll net 10% of the winnings. Gonna speak or
Fuck
what?
you and your offer. Sure, kid made mistakes. Not a reason for you to fuck up the rest of his life.
Shame, really. Would have been a square deal. Get her, boys!
No mames, morra glitchada la verga. Está bien guapa.
What the hell happened?
No, es que tengo que graduar de mi acá. ¿Tú sabías que se quedó en la casa de la letra? Meli, no sé cuánto me vaya a tardar. Decirle a mi mamá, acompañarme las 3
La nariz. Lo logré.
Mi gorro. ¿Quieres ir a un promotor? No soy promotor. O mi casa es promotor. Pero ya esas fotos.
Hola,
Your chooms came by. We, didn't quite see things eye to eye.
Se me antoja comerme esas. Sí, son todas tuyas.
Fucking
Y de nadie
Angie.
más, no más tuyas.
Never was one to let shit go. Not a problem anymore. Thanks to you.
Earned yourself a second chance. Don't blow it.
Yeah, I think. Guess I know what you mean. Thanks, V.
cuando yo me voy en eso.
Se me causa más quiero sentirte bien.
Dime si es mentira o no. ¿Qué fue lo que le dijiste ahí?
¿Por aquí les doy? Tú sabes que es gay.
Ay, qué casualidad. ¿A quién le pegó?
Llego en 4 como te gusta. Te toca castigo hoy.
¿Y quién le dijo eso? Dime quién le dijo eso. Seguramente me lo estoy inventando yo.
Le manda fotos efímeras, quién sabe qué tanta cosa le deja.
Le mandaste fotos, ¿no?
Vi una foto en un lugar.
Y luego me estás echando la culpa a mí. Cuando yo sí tengo pruebas, yo te puedo mostrar ahorita que salgamos que yo no te estoy poniendo el cuerno.
Pero corazón, no juegos, también le manda mensajes y ya los elimina. Solo que le acaba de mandar un mensaje ahorita. Pero no mujer.
¿Y el otro qué? También vas a decir que es mujer.
No,
Resulta
o
que
sea,
sí.
como
No, resulta que siendo,
también, y lo sabes.
siendo gay todavía te lo vas a así de pelada, ¿no? No me
Pero
chingues,
una vez
Fanny,
te
no
has
me chingues, la neta, lo que es. La neta.
Pocas veces te has venido.
La neta, las veces que me voy te he dicho, vamos, y me sales con estas mamadas. ¿Tú crees que tú cómo crees? No, neta, ¿tú cómo crees que me voy a poner?
Yo voy a hacer
Yo no tengo sus mensajes.
No me pelas. Tú siempre estás trabajando o haciendo algo y nunca me
Pero
pelas.
no, lo estoy haciendo por algo. Que íbamos a salir, salimos. Simón, te estoy ayudando con la escuela, no seas mamona con estas cosas.
¿Quién me estás ayudando?
Ahora resulta que no te estoy ayudando.
No me estás ayudando, la verdad no me estás ayudando. Espera, no me ayudas y la que paga las cosas soy yo, porque yo también trabajo.
Sí, pero yo te estoy apoyando. Habíamos quedado en algo y sales con estas mamás de que tal y gol. Ahora resulta que es...
¿Qué tiene que ver?
Ni es gay.
Mira, te estoy poniendo el cuerno y listo, ya lo acepto.
Se te hace bien pelada, ¿no?
Sí, la verdad es que sí. Porque todos los días siempre estás.
Se te hace bien pelada hacer eso.
Sí, se me hace bien pelada.
Se te hace bien pelada.
Sí.
Eso es lo que hacen las morras que son bien fascinosas. Seguramente, ¿quién me va a parar? ¿Quién me va a parar? ¿Eh? No, ¿qué te
El teléfono se lo...
Ay, o sea, ¿se dan cuenta cómo realmente decir la verdad es algo fácil? Solamente que nosotros decidimos conflictuarnos, reservarnos.
¿Qué estoy haciendo aquí?
Poner las cosas turbias, complicadas.
Voy a salir.
Así como ella le dijo ahorita fácilmente,
es que...
en el cuerno. Así pudo haberle dicho, ¿sabes que me gusta alguien más? Me encantaría leerlos y bueno, le voy a estar dando un corazoncito.
Según antes, no, sí.
De verdad, pocas veces termino llamadas y me está confundida y el día de hoy es que no es.
¿Cómo?
Y activa la campanita porque seguro el chisme.
Pues, chat, ¿qué dice? Mayor, sí, hasta más de empresa.
Alright, this silver car we're gonna try.
No mames, ¿es tan pesado? ¿Cuánto pesa? 10 kilos. A la verga. Que no hay que venderlo. Vale, verga, este pinche telero a vender. Vale, verga. Ahí está, 40 kilos. Ahí está. Servisky, güey. ¿Qué es eso? Ahí está.
I'm way too fucking safe. 100%. I'm doing what I can, slowly but surely, to separate myself from this kind of narrative or whatever this world is that I kind of built. And I'm fine-tuning it and tailoring it to what I want out of it. Thanks.
fuck?
What's going on?
What did you do? Get out now.
How do you
The
decide
scabs will let
when
you
you're gonna
pass.
wear hair
I
or not
have
wear
this
hair?
mess to clean up.
Just you feeling like we're giving a combo hair.
It changes every day.
All right, I'm into it. I'm into it. Have you worn hair on stage?
Yeah, yes, I have. For the first time, last two times that I went on stage.
Okay. So you're in the hair zone, back in the hair zone.
I'm back in the hair zone.
What about the eyebrows?
Get out of here before I
No,
take
I don't
you
need
out.
Fuck her. Fuck her eyebrow.
But you don't
Eyebrows fall out.
I think I wanted to do something more editorial with my face as far as makeup. Editorial is like stuff that is done to make your face look enhanced and like pretty. It's more for the sake of the art, the sake of the.
So removing the eyebrows gives you a better canvas?
Yeah, you can do more. You can do more.
Drinking?
Yes, I am.
We have a beverage to get this party started.
I forgot what it's called. What is the turmeric and the ginger and the rising tide?
And I'll do a 1944 rock. I had COVID, I had surgery, now you're in town on tour. So the movie comes out, it's like, Doja Cat says she needs her back.
Yeah.
And I'm like, she might just, this is mine.
Yeah.
A lot of people got introduced smash, kissing, and after that one, a lot of people that
У меня для тебя подарок. Бей бабу!
Never see.
Для тебя подарок. Fight them! I hear.
Yeah, I keep a lot of stuff to myself. I don't complain about anything. If I'm not making enough music at a certain time, I find myself like doing photo shoots all the time, and I'm like, how the fuck did I even get here in the first place? I was making music. I'm not making any music. That I'm gonna complain about, or just being tired. I don't talk about my personal life, like my real personal life. I don't get that in depth about that. I don't follow any of my friends. I don't dig that.
Yeah, so people can't like do the whole triangulation of she's following these people on social so they can find out who they're close with. Is that when did you become conscious of that kind of being a state that was
because well, to kind of give everybody a perspective, I guess I've been through a lot. The people that are close to me are people that have, I don't know. I don't really know how to say it. It's like I don't like to be the person to be like the spokesperson for like depression and like angst and like dysmorphias and things like that, and I've had a lot of those things. I've been anxious and I've been depressed and I've been I have body dysmorphia, that's for sure. I don't like talking about that stuff because I don't need to, and it doesn't make me feel better to really just like put that out there and like talk about that sort of stuff. And I know how involved I am with social, or how involved I was with social media. So going on there every day and seeing people's responses to, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. Yeah.
We'll cheers.
Cheers. Continue.
I just, seeing the responses to that is something that I wouldn't be able to handle. I'm kind of a snowflake. I'm very sensitive. So I know if I talk about things that I'm sensitive about, my vulnerabilities and things like that.
You're afraid people are using this?
Yeah, absolutely. And they will. And they have. So I just, I keep my mouth shut about that shit.
Well, I think that's the part, like, I want you to know that you care. Right? Like, you have...
What the hell you want, Reed?
You're a disappointment, V. To me, to Saul. We could have helped her. We, together.
It was her choice, Saul.
You're helping a traitor who took a potentially lethal swipe at the NUS president's life.
I don't know if that's like you said, you don't like interviews.
Yeah,
I don't want to get deep into that.
Not your enemy. Not the enemy of the NUS, all the more.
As we fall in love
just fighting to survive.
Awkward strategy you've adopted. We, the FIA, we're gonna find you too. You have exactly nowhere to run, V.
Just to kind of like, know it's safe.
Yes, you are that. Yeah. I think that I have a big fear of like performativeness, and when people use social media to make themselves seem like this holier than thou kind of like can do no wrong, is for every cause, is for every person, is agreeing in agreement to everything good and everything blah blah blah. And the thing is, like, I'm not like, first of all, I'm not a political person at all, but I do just I feel like when it comes to that sort of thing, I have to use that because that's not what I want to. Politics are not something that I want to swoop in. I just want creativity and joy and sort of the immediate reality of like my friends, my family, and my music, and
I'm assuming that's not something like the whole t-shirt where it's like, I see somebody who's funny.
Wouldn't have fucking called if this was over and done, Reed. There's some negotiation tactic.
We're long past that, V. I'm saying we'll see each other soon. You, Song, and me. Get it? And I'll expect you to mend your ways then.
Is an attack on people. An attack on... It's not an attack. It didn't affect
Jeez, thanks for the heads up.
In a way where
remember,
we don't have to
you've taken responsibility for her. When we find you, when? It's not going to be about whatever deal you two think you made.
A lot of responses of people like, yes, it did. It's going to change everything. It's good.
I think some of it, I think some of it, which is why I wanted to actually have a conversation. Some of it, right? If we do more, start heard from you, what you still want, right? Something like that happens, you can go, oh my bad, I didn't know.
I also think that's 100%. And I'm doing what I can slowly but surely to separate myself from this kind of narrative or whatever this world is that I kind of built. And I'm fine-tuning it and tailoring it to what I want out of it. I feel like it doesn't matter what you say, it doesn't matter what some people know. So there's fans that I have who know that I don't put any effort or any involvement into whatever the fuck that negative ass shit was. I am more just yeah, like, but I don't need to explain myself. I don't need to prove myself to what you think. I'm not going to forget no matter what I say, because there's people who are that person's doing Is like, I'm sorry, when the fuck did I say that I was a Satanist? When did I ever say anything, or even go marching outside the church, talking about, no. When the fuck did I say that? Anyway, it's just, it's really taxing and annoying and funny. This is a lot of hard work that I've put in. This is a lot of hard work that a lot of people have put in, and I know from inside what I've seen is a lot of hardworking artists who are inspired and are doing beautiful atmosphere. It's not real. Dragon fly by a scream. It's not a real dragon, but people really feel that way. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we gotta get into this album, Scarlet, which is doing very well.
Yeah.
Now, it's a dominantly rap album. And I've been on record saying I think they'll be back. Phenomenal rap. What is Doja say to the fans of hip hop now that you are dissecting?
I think that the album that I made, from the manufacturer's perspective, I think that I made my points in certain songs, and I got personal, and I spoke about my life. I think that's important in rap. I think that it can get really redundant, rap, and so I made my very important points, and then I kind of just, I let go, and I was free with the rest of it. There's a lot of songs on there. There's one line where I have the butter toes line. It's like the dumbest line on the album, but I made sure that I didn't push myself too hard. I don't need to prove myself.
Like, you don't want to take yourself too serious.
I don't need to jump out of pop and into rap and be the best rapper alive. What I'm going to do is go in the studio and make something that I enjoy making, and then I'm going to put it out. And I'm going to have my little moments where I'm like, yeah, maybe that line could have been stronger, but nothing is ever that serious. It's never that serious. Unless you have, like, a real, like, thing that you stand for. Like, I stand for certain shit. Like, I don't like people discrediting people's work. So, like, talking about In Soul of Bones, I feel like that was the most important part of the album, Soul of Bones, because I got a lot of stuff off my chest. So, yeah, thank you. Yeah, that'd be fucking crazy. And I fucked around on that. Like, you know, there's some filler bars for sure. I have a lot of filler on this album. But, yeah, I think there's a lot of expectations. And I don't know. I'm happy with the album, and I'm happy for the future. I'm really excited for the future.
There are songs that you love on, so like you have an artist that you don't record a bunch of stuff, you write it in the moment, you fall in love with it, and then you're like, yeah, I want to say this. And they're like, no, this is fucking hot.
They do that, yeah.
That happens?
They do that. Yeah, they'll be like, you got this one there. And the thing is...
So, let me ask you this. Have they been right?
Yeah, they've been right. Yep, multiple times. Yes, they have. Yes, you have.
Wait.
Which
song?
Painted Town Red. I thought Painted Town Red was kind of like, it reminded me of like Target or like Macy's. It reminded me of like Gap. I don't know why. It just kind of is that. And I know like it starts with a curse word. And it's like a little bit edgy in that sense, and like even Lord, like yeah, I get that, but like that song is kind of very like hands up high vibe. And so I thought, you know, I think strategically, I think it was a good addition to the album. And a strong addition to the album. I know it was a strong song.
Did you expect it to be as popular as it is, though?
Yeah, I did. And that was what I was kind of running from a little bit.
Oh, wow. Tell me more about that. Like, you didn't want to have a smash?
I didn't really want to have that pants up high song. That was, you know what I mean? Like, the goofy kind of, like, palatable. I wanted to make a little bit of a darker, slower album, but I don't think this was the time for that. I think keeping it on the album was a smart move. So I want to slowly trickle into sort of moodier vibes and, you know, creatively, yeah. Like, I'm not going to be doing that forever.
So, I mean, you've done an R&B album, you've done alternative records, leaned into the almost into the punk space visually in some places, leaning into the hip hop space. Like you're really touching on a lot of amazing sound and showing how diverse and who is the Doja we're watching develop. Like where's that going?
Yeah, I think anything I've done in the past, I'm very self-critical. Anything I've done in the past that's, the way you're naming all the things that I've done, it sounds great. Like having a punk kind of like, you knowing that I have that aesthetic under my sleeve. I feel like I haven't fully executed all of those things the way that I really wanted to. I think that some of it can come off pretentious at times, and I think with pop music, that's kind of the point in pop sometimes, is to kind of be like, what's the word for it, like, put on a face and put on like a, you know, you could write a love song that's a pop song and you don't even have to have a boyfriend. You could lie, you know? Which I've done. So I've been written generalized love songs. And I feel like, just as far as like sound as well, like, I love to do a real punk moment, but it's like, why? I've always had like a you know, I guess that fucking made me constantly. I believe that. And I was so happy working and just kind of starting to marry
all of that. Then when I was all of those vocal arrangements and recordings and pick parts and you do all of that.
Yeah.
Where is that, I guess, training, learning, talent? Who owned that? When did that get honed in your life?
I love to make sounds and it sort of angles into my section.
In our fair district, are you?
In that way, like a lot of my ad-libs,
we should
when I
talk.
rap, like,
Face to face.
You know, like, yeah, like the little, like, and like shit like that. Like, I love doing that. I love to, like, push my voice and, yeah, and I'm not a competitive singer. I'm not like a I didn't go to church and sing.
Still present, V.
But I try to get there, slowly trying to learn how to do certain things. Yeah, I mean, I like to build harmonies, and it's never anything too crazy.
Learn
I went to a performing.
Still present, V?
So yes, I was. I auditioned for one of my middle schools in art school, and I did have voice lessons when I was, I believe, 8 years old or 7. And, you know, I never really, I was never like totally good at anything, but the people that were surrounded me, that surrounded by were like, yeah.
Still present, V?
Could be a gig coming my way.
Far better. I see a blank page in Night City's Chronicle. Your name is on it. The page and I are waiting at the heavy.
Sorry, really gotta go.
When I was little and I didn't know anything about anything, my mom was
okay, you were saying?
Far better. I see a blank page in Night City's Chronicle. Your name is on it. The page and I are waiting at the Heavy Hearts.
Yeah, definitely it's my grandma too, but, yeah, there's just a lot of gatherings. From that, that would make me pop music. I still love that. Just to break off of the kind of spiritual world
there's a lot of the background there's a lot of
Got a report of someone breaking the rules. Transferring coordinates. What, she crawled into a hole or something? Drop the search. Over and out.
It's like a highlighter, violator, myself in a different light, I'm not not playing a character that's not so that was the most wrong. What do you mean, yeah. The movement and the ambiance and the theater and the vibe, but it got a little something here. Like, you know, those people are kind of out. I agree with that. That wasn't really what was on my mind. That's where the whole thing starts. crazy. It's crazy. You're like standing on a thing that not everybody has to know. That was the thinking that I wanted to take that. I wanted to I love hormones, and so that was a big
Target's neutralized. Comb the streets. Don't let them escape.
I will say that
And so, and with the song, it's kind of optimism about it, right? Like, I'm going to get out here, I'm going to throw you down there, and you guys going to be upset with me one way or the other, and like,
I'm going to do what I want regardless of what the fuck is up. I'm not hurting anybody. Literally nobody is hurting me making this video.
Now, let me ask you this. At this point, with all of the popularity you said earlier, I don't know if you fucking think, would that not be your
Oh shit, not
so
good.
I knew that. I think he like money and outfits and like it's hard to say what I'm like fashion, money, travel, fun, like all of those things seem so positive. You don't think about what comes with it. And so I jumped in. I didn't really know what I was putting myself up against. And then I realized, okay, well, this is kind of a lot. And so now I'm stepping fucking back. And so, yeah, you know, I'm just tailoring it. I'm fine-tuning it because there's a way where I can still travel and you know, dress up and go to events and go and do stuff and still be kind of in the shadows a little bit and less on the talking about what I'm wearing. Like, yeah, this is Jugando, and like I don't want that.
It sounds like for people to appreciate your art, focus your art and your creativity.
Yeah.
Come to the shows.
But I don't want to be
enjoy
a
the performance, but yeah, I don't want to be your little toy character that like.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna make everyone happy. That's I just I know that I'm not, and that's immensely.
So one thing I've always loved about you all is good, right?
Yeah, that's good.
That's from South Africa.
Yeah.
And so Dad is South African.
Yeah. Daddy is South African from Durban, South Africa.
And so have you ever been to South Africa?
I haven't. I still haven't.
Are you planning? Is there a plan?
I rely on my career to just throw me out to places. You know,
I'm sure they're ready to celebrate you.
Yeah, I don't like find pockets of time in my life to go travel because I can fly, but I don't like flying. And so, you know, I just like, especially long flights like that, I know it means a lot, it would mean a lot, but I just like.
What role was Dad around?
No, never met my dad.
Really? So I saw a video of you talking to Whoopi Goldberg, I think at The View, about what was the movie Serafina, with your dad was in Serafina.
Yeah, he was acting in that and dancing.
Really?
And singing.
So there's obviously through genetics you got some of that
sauce. My dad is so good at dancing. He's a goated dancer. It's unbelievable. There's this one video that my mom showed me, and she still hasn't sent it to me, but there's one of him performing on Broadway, I believe, and his whole upper body is still, but his feet were just like all over the place. He has so much ability and just incredible talent when it comes to dance. So.
Well, one day you'll be in South Africa, and I'm sure you're gonna
Yeah.
try to learn a little more.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Are you exposed to any of the amazing music coming out of South Africa?
Yes, a little bit, not really. I know when I'm rehearsing, my dancers are, trained in that, and, my very close, dancer friend, artist, she's incredible, and she's been over there and learned a lot.
How is the experience? The last tour you had planned, I believe, got cut short because you had to have vocal surgery.
Yeah.
Which was 2021.
Yeah. I had my tonsils, and they kept sucking up everything that they could, and I kept getting sick over and over and over again. And I guess, I was about to go on tour. We canceled that, and I got my tonsils removed. Vaping, I don't know if that was part of why that was happening so much. Could have been. Nicotine is awful. It's a terrible thing. But we literally had to get my tonsils taken out. So we did that. I quit nicotine. I continued to
So what therapy?
Hypnotherapy.
To come off of it.
I went to hypnotherapy for my nicotine, and it worked in one little second. I walked in. That was one thing that my favorite song is Today in the Moment. It's Often. 100%.
Often fire.
Yeah, 100%.
Often fire.
It's like Can't Wait, Often, Petro, 97.
Those are your records.
Yeah.
What's you gonna do? That won't be for like that takes time, right? Like that's a
pretty soon. Pretty soon.
Like 24?
I'm about to go cut my next record now. Yeah, I also just want to, I want to go in like an album out with the station of like 7 songs per 12 songs per album, and 17, 30, whatever. But like, we had to get that done.
And this was a specific feel and sound that you wanted.
Yeah, this is a little quick, but like we did it in a matter of weeks total, and well, not even actually. It took like a month.
You've seen Lizzie with it.
Whatever. Anyway, but I'm gonna get straight into my next project.
It's rare nowadays that you hear a song from a woman appreciating a man. Like you don't. We live in a time right now where it's like dudes are saying slick shit about chicks.
Oh, please, brother. Here coming, thug. Not
It's
even
always
that.
like some
Not no
toxic.
more. Warm food's warm food.
Down, Chumba. Wanna wind up like him?
But Aurora Hills, at least what I'm hearing is a straight up love song. Like,
Yeah, it's kind of cringe, but like being like, I don't know. I feel like
your love, you got me
people, yeah, absolutely.
Butterfly kisses, dozen lows.
Oh my god, I'm amazed.
Am I missing something? missing something?
Ah, at last. I lacked the time to brew tea. My apologies.
Face to face again? What's changed?
Everything. And that's what we'll discuss. Kurt Hansen, a man of many hats. A criminal, dog of war. To mine eye, an entrepreneur. And business suffocates in a vacuum. Vultures circle the Colonel's corpse already. The enterprise he built must choose a new leader. We will make certain they choose correctly. The shard, please insert it. Take the shard, V. It doesn't bite, I promise. Take the shard, V. It doesn't bite, I promise. Take the shard, V. It doesn't bite, I promise.
Let me guess. Got a successor all lined up, don't you?
Lieutenant Colonel Bennett, one of Hansen's most loyal, commands respect, is capable of rallying a strong base. The logical choice, this gentleman soldier. Alas, he has competition. A man named Yago. He's starting from a lower rung, but has high aspirations. He's already begun seeking outside support from the Voodoo Boys. You will meet with Yago. You will convince him to back down. V, our business grows cold. Tick-tock. Time waits for no man. V, our business grows cold. Tick-tock, time waits for no man.
Okay, I'll handle that.
No, you won't. But Aguilar will.
You lost me.
Hansen remained on top because he had the contacts to stay afloat. Most important among them was a Cuban cartel. Enter Aguilar, a merc assassin from Havana, a living legend. Every time someone in Havana lights a cigar, Aguilar extinguishes a life somewhere around the globe. I'm lucky to have her behavioral imprint on hand. You're lucky to have experience with the tech already.
Let me summarize. Need me to assume Aguilar's identity?
Have a chat with Yago. Talk him out of...
Okay. Interesting piece of iron.
Custom.
Igual.
Time to kick the tires, V. Suit up and take the imprint for a whirl. Do you feel the difference? Well, how long shall you hold me in suspense?
My time's precious, Hans. If this don't work, you'll need to find 10 new digits or aim for a rebrand.
Better than expected, V. Or rather, Aguilar. You'll make a strong impression on Iago, too. A trusted source tells me he's to meet soon with a delegation of the Dogtown Voodoos. I'll forward the coordinates. V, our business grows cold.
Wow.
I care not at all for how you handle the Gangoons. As you will. I have only one request. Iago withdraws his candidacy. Once you've shown him reason, call me. And remember, my district's future is riding on this.
Don't worry, won't disappoint.
That is the hope. Good luck. Tick-tock. Time waits for no man.